This is Brother Jamal coming to you on this Thursday afternoon. I want to say Ramadan Mubarak to all the Muslims who are fasting for this month of Ramadan. Inshallah, we ask Allah to let us have a good Ramadan and a good fasting. But we inshallah, we try to do all the things that we are supposed to do during this month of Ramadan, but we try to avoid the things that we're not supposed to do, inshallah. I was going to wait and not bring a video, but inshallah, I had said some time ago that I was going to, inshallah, try to continue to bring you videos on Mondays and Thursdays. I know today is Thursday, and I know we're in the month of Ramadan, but I kind of just wanted to be consistent with, inshallah, when I give my word, to try to do that. This video is, and I said this, I want to really strongly emphasize that I had said, inshallah, that I would do videos on a specific topic, a specific subject. But due to the severity of things changing, things kind of going in and out, up and down, you know, I may change and I may do some videos on other topics and other subjects that's pressing. And I did a series of videos on maintaining justice. This was during the time of the murder of George Floyd. And so here we are back again, revisiting that whole subject, that whole area on maintaining justice, because another young brother was murdered in Minneapolis. I call it murder, I call it George Floyd. We have to distinguish between murder and killing. And what we see, what we saw then with George Floyd, what we see now in 2021, we call it murder. We have to be real clear about the definition and the category that we put these in. We call them murder. Murder of George Floyd, murder of this young brother who was murdered in Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'm going to make this real short, not too long, but just wanted to talk about maintaining justice. If there's, now the Quran talks about maintaining justice and what has to be done if you are to maintain justice. And I say to the people who may catch this video now and catch it later when I drop it, I'll try to put it in, post it in many places I can, and ask you to share it with people. We say the Quran talks about maintaining justice. There's a whole subject on justice and how you maintain justice. And the Quran talks about the way that you maintain justice. Always maintain justice when you judge between the people in any situation, any category, any deliberation. When you judge between the people, it has to be done in fairness, 100% fairness. Otherwise, you can't maintain justice. And so that's extremely important. I simply ask the question to the ones of you who may catch this video: where is the maintaining of justice when it comes to the police murdering black people? Where's the maintaining of justice at? Where's the fairness at? When it comes to that specific topic, when it comes to that specific area, where's the justice at and where's the fairness at? Ask yourself that question, because from what we can see, there is no fairness and there is no justice. If there was fairness, if there was justice, then the situations, the problems that we see arising out of police murdering black people, continue to murder black men specifically, we would see some kind of justice and some kind of fairness, which in case is absolutely not any. The other thing is too, the second point I want to just raise and bring to you, we always see all of these excuses. That's what we usually see, that's what we usually find, all these excuses we always see. If it's from it could be from a governor, it could be from a mayor, it could be from city officials, it could be from the police chief, all down the line. We always see all of these excuses, which in fact, another young brother has been murdered. And we see all of these excuses. And like we have seen in the past, nothing is never done. Now, somebody said to me not too long ago about injustice in this country, and I had to carry them back. And this is a reality. See, this is a discussion. This is a topic. This is a subject that nobody wants to talk about. They want to avoid it. They want to act as if it's going to go away all by itself. In the meantime, we continue to see black men being murdered. This is what we see. Now, there's been cases where it's been black youth been murdered. We've seen the cases where black women have been murdered. We've seen the cases where black older men and women have been, if not murdered, have been brutally brutalized. And I have to remind people that during segregation, I know this is, once again, this is a subject that most people don't want to talk about. They don't want to discuss it. They want to just forget about it. In the period of segregation, the only thing that was done away with in that period was they got segregation, the walls of segregation got knocked down. But alongside that, there was no justice. There was no justice that never came with the walls of segregation being knocked down. There was no justice, because if you go back and look at the period, go back to 1930, 1940, 1950, and bring it all the way up to 2021, you will see the same thing that happened in 1950, 1960, 1970, 1980. You will see the same thing happen then. It is happening today. So I simply ask the question. Where's the justice at? Where's the fairness at? See? We've been hearing the same old song and dance and excuses since 1950. We've been hearing that same thing. And so, yes, the people of Minneapolis should be outraged. Yes, they should be outraged. They should be. And what this is just a suggestion to people around the country. What needs to happen? You know how around the U.S. they have a sex offenders directory where they put out, and they have it in every major city. When a sex offender moves into a certain area, they alarm everybody in that community about a sex offender has moved in. What's wrong with having a police directory on these police officers who murder black people, black men, and publicizing it the same way, letting people know in the neighborhood that a police killer, a police person that has murdered someone has moved in this neighborhood, moved in this area, notify everybody and let them know around the country and in the communities. What's wrong with having the same kind of police directory that goes nationwide, and it informs, educates, and let people know that when a police officer, especially the one who have murdered a black person, has murdered a black man, moves in their neighborhood, letting the people know what's wrong with that. That's number one. Number two, and this is for the people who are marching and protesting and demonstrating. What's wrong with your protest Instead of going to the police station, instead of going to some significant place, what's wrong with going to the police officer's home where they stay at and protest there, right on the streets of where the police officers live, where they stay at? What's wrong with your protest going there? See? Up the ante, turn up the heat some. Don't let these guys be comfortable. Number three, as far as the judicial system, I think in that case, history speaks for itself. There is absolutely nothing that they're going to do to these guys who murder black people and murder black men and the black youth and brutalize people. They're not going to do anything to them at all. We can go through this whole judicial system and we can look at the end results. We can look at some of the previous decisions that have came down from the courts. And most of them, you can actually say most of those cases, there has been absolutely nothing done to those police officers who murder black people. Zero. Nothing. So, and this is not, I'm not saying this out of hatred or anything. I'm saying it out of the reality of the time that we live in. If you bring from 1950 to 2021, and you look at that period from 1950